Hey kids, it's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
What's up, everyone? This is the SML podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Cole. Cole, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How are you, Joe?
I am tired as shit. I just started some new medication, and I am just tired.
I want to be like, new happy drugs are the best, but that's not always true. Sometimes they have really shitty side effects, and you don't know yet.
The drowsiness is real.
Yeah, we're going to cross our fingers that these are the best.
Fingers crossed. I've already noticed a weird side effect is I'll be sitting, playing a game, holding my controller, and then my right hand will just start shaking.
Yeah. I've seen David have that effect. David was on one medicine one time that straight up caused like calcium deposits to form in his muscles and his legs. And
wow.
he couldn't take that shit. He was like, this isn't working for me. I was like, no. And it's terrible because it was the best medication ever. And
what
like
did it do that it was the best?
He was like really super affectionate when he was on this medicine. And like one morning I went in the room to wake him up, and I've mentioned before, I think, that my husband's bipolar. And so, like, he has manic depressive spells. Sometimes he's just really sweet, really high energy. Sometimes you're just like, he can't get out of bed to save himself. And so, like, he'd just been through one of, like, his angry manic phases. And the medicine, like, as soon as it started to build up in his system or work a little bit, he kind of flipped a switch, and he was just so affectionate and so sweet and so loving. I'm like, the fuck is this? Where has this man been my whole marriage to you? But there was one morning I go and I wake him up, and like, he hates to be woke up in the morning. It's just a thing. And he wakes up and he's like in this half awake, half asleep stupor. And he just kind of, almost like he was drunk, he goes, I am an oak tree and you are my leaves. And I was like, this stuff's amazing.
What the hell? And what is this stuff? Where can I get it?
This was when he was on Seroquel. But Seroquel. It's also, yeah, it's the same shit that made his calf muscle, like his muscles in his legs build up calcium and made it too stiff and he couldn't walk. So that stuff's gone out the window, but I miss it because it was good stuff.
I'm writing that down. I could deal with some calcium deposits if I'm that happy.
It was just so funny. Like, he didn't remember it. I think he still doesn't. He just remembers me giggling about it every so often. But it was so sweet and so cheesy and just very much not like D.
Oh my
God.
And
it stuck with me.
Oh boy. Well, before we get to the game news this week, because there's a lot of news to talk about, we do have some business to take care of. We had 2 new subs today.
2?
Yeah, you're one of them.
I am. Yay, me. I did a thing. You. So, since we're recording this, going to be on the show and everything, I'm going to repeat it. I said it on the stream earlier. If you didn't hear it, sorry. If you did hear it, sorry. But it is September on Twitch, and we stream on Thursdays. And if you catch us live and you have been gifted a sub, and you had that sub run out, and you kind of want to come back and sub again, but you don't want to give us a whole $5
cheap
this month,
bastards, you
can sub for just $1. You can re-up your gifted sub for $1, and we still get paid normally.
On the downside, fantastic. I don't think too many people have ever been gifted subs on our channel.
But for like the 2 that have, besides me, here you go. You can come back for $1.
Speaking of you influencing people to sub to us, you convinced someone else to sub.
I did. I convinced my buddy, Studio Baker 02. I don't know if that's even the name he uses on Twitch.
No, might just be Studio 02.
Studio 02. Yeah. So it's Studio. And Studa is a longtime buddy of mine, and Yeah, I was like, you have a free sub. And he's like, I don't know how to use it. And so I told him, and here we are. Thanks for using your sub.
So thanks, Studa, for subbing to the channel. Your support is appreciated. Thanks to all the other subs that we have. I know we got a couple floating around out there. I appreciate it because you're going to eventually put a new computer together for me, I hope. It'd be nice.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Indeed. It'll take a while, but it'll happen.
Yep.
And then it'll be fun. And then I can play a game on PC.
And then, like, the computer won't explode when we try to stream and record the show.
Yeah.
Which is always great. Because, you know, if you like us enough to sub to us, you probably like us enough for us to keep doing it without exploding PCs.
Yeah. Which is always good.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of news this week. The Nintendo Direct that was scheduled for last week and was delayed from weather happened today. And it is a cornucopia of big news, like a lot of news. So I'm just going to go through the whole Direct and give kind of a play-by-play of what happened. Started off with a reveal of Luigi's Mansion 3. So that's happening, coming in 2019. Okay. They showed a video of Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, which is the Wii game now being ported to the 3DS with new abilities, modes, and mini-games included. That's coming in 2019.
To the 3DS, but not the Switch?
Yep.
Weird.
Yeah, there's a handful of games that are 3DS stuff, like Mario & Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, and Bowser Jr.'s Journey. Features a new story for Bowser Jr. with the Koopalings, with more tactical battles. That's coming out January 11th. I am looking forward to that because I loved Bowser's Inside Story.
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion is coming to the 3DS October 12th, and that is going to feature a new 2-player mode, which is pretty cool, as well as amiibo functionality. Hooray!
Yay!
And then last bit of news for the 3DS is Yokai Watch Blasters has new content coming out at the end of the month. So if you have that game, which is out now, more goodies are coming your way. Hooray.
Yay! Okay.
And then it's Switch news. A whole shitload of Switch news.
Son of a bitch. All right, let's go.
Splatoon 2 version 4 update video was shown. So more content coming to Splatoon 2. Video was shown for Mega Man 11, and they revealed that the Mega Man amiibo are going to work in the game to give you E-Tanks and other items. So that's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Mario Tennis Aces is getting an update with Birdo, Shy Guy, Koopa Paratrooper, and Petey Piranha all joining the games, as well as a co-op mode with new outfits and color schemes for characters. And that update is going to be out September 19th, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good content for Mario Tennis. New game was shown off, the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. This looks insane. It takes 7 of their classic arcade and console fighting brawler beat 'em up games, lumps them all together with 4-player and online support. It includes Final Fight, King of Dragons, Captain Commando, Knights of the Round, Warriors of Fate, Armored Warriors, and Battle Circuit. And best of all, it's releasing September 18th.
Oh, wow.
Surprise! That's and then later, Capcom confirmed it is hitting all platforms, so it's not just on the Switch.
On the same day?
Yep.
Wow. That is the thing about Nintendo Directs. They don't fuck around with like, look what we're going to show you. It's going to be out in 6 months. It's like, no, we made this shit. Ta-da! Here it is. Have fun.
Speaking of something that'll be out in a couple of months, new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is coming to the Switch. That includes the entire original game and new Super Luigi U. Nabbit and Toadette are also playable characters now, and that is launching January 11th. So that's a nice little surprise. And then Katamari Damacy Reroll, an HD remake of the first game, is coming to the Switch winter 2018.
Wow.
I am fucking thrilled about this one.
That's a pretty big deal.
I love the Katamari games so much.
I haven't played them, but I've seen quite a bit of them. What was the one on 360? Beautiful Katamari?
Yep.
Like, everybody and their brother, literally, when I'm like, oh, I play games, they're like, have you played Beautiful Katamari? No.
You should.
Is it backward compatible?
Not yet. I wish.
Yet is the operative word.
Yeah, hopefully.
So we'll catch it when it goes backward compatible, and, like, it's on sale for $1.50 or some shit. then I'll be able to get it.
I've seen it on sale for under $5 before.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So you might want to get it while it's on sale instead of waiting for it to become compatible, and then the sales won't be as good.
I've done that in the past too, though. I bought Catherine when it was on sale for like $2, and then it went backward compatible, and I still haven't got to play it yet.
Nice.
But it's there.
Yay. After that, they went into a video about the Nintendo Switch Online service that is starting September 18th. Of course, online play is included, so that's no longer free on the Switch. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. They showed off the NES games. They're going to have local co-op and online co-op play for games that have multiplayer. You know, they showed off some games like Solomon's Key, Ghosts and Goblins, Ice Climbers. So it'll be a bunch of games. My buddy Tim called it Netflix. Ha ha ha. Of course, cloud saves are going to be included, although they've confirmed that not all games are going to support it.
I'm assuming that's a developer decision.
I think so, and I think it comes down to, I think Splatoon 2 is one of the games that won't be supported because they're worried about like duping items and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I can kind of understand it, but that's still shitty that if it's a certain game that isn't supported, you might lose your save progress.
How many people have multiple Switches, though?
I don't know.
Like, I feel like that's not an overwhelming issue.
I've only got my one.
Who knows? It could be. I could be surprised, but I just don't imagine it's something people have like a dozen laying around that they need to switch between. Get it? See what I did there? It was an accident, but I did it.
I am proud of you. I'm very proud of you. Anyway, from there they go on to go into their bullshit smartphone app with their bullshit smartphone chat feature, which is all bullshit, and they should really have something system side instead of using a bullshit cell phone app. Tell us how you really feel
about it, Joe.
It's kind of on the bullshit side of life. It's so stupid. I don't want to use a fucking cell phone app to talk to people.
I mean, it seems a little excessive given that Discord exists.
Yeah.
Like if I were going to use an app on my phone for chat, I'd just use Discord.
It's just the fact that they don't have anything system side for game chat is so fucking stupid.
It is really weird.
Stupid and bullshit.
And I wonder though if it's not got something to do with the fact that they try to maintain a more kid-friendly approach to gaming. And so in theory, like if a parent walks into GameStop and says, "Show me a game console where I don't have to worry about strangers talking to my kid," they're going to get handed the Switch, you know? So maybe that has something to do with it, but it's still dumb.
Yeah, it's stupid. So stupid. It's bullshit. Anyway, the fifth perk of the Nintendo Switch Online service was, quote, special offers, and they say more to announce in the future. So that's really fucking helpful that you're going to talk about the 5 perks and then not even discuss one of the perks. They went back over the pricing where it's $3.99 a month, $7.99 for 3 months, or $19.99 for 12 months. There's also going to be a family option. I think they said that was $34.99.
Ooh.
For a year.
Ooh.
I didn't get all the details on that. I kind of zoned out when they talked about the online shit because it's bullshit.
It really bullshit. Does seem like there's not enough. I mean, though, at the price is kind of fuck it, why not territory.
Yeah, it is. So I'm still gonna do it because I'm a filthy hypocrite.
At least you're honest about your hypocritical side.
Well, I have to. If I want to play Smash Brothers online or if I want to play Mario Kart online, I need to be a subscriber.
Yeah.
So it's not a question of, if I'm going to do it or not, because I kind of have to.
I just find the whole timing of locking down the paywall, it's so weird. To me, it seems like if you're going to charge for an online service and require it, then it needs to be there when the system launches. Yeah. Don't have it be free all this time and then go, whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
It's just it's not, I don't like that
it's
kind
stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's stupid and it's bullshit.
Like you want to get me ranting about anti-consumerism?
No. Next thing they showed in the video, they have new NES controller Joy-Con coming. Supposedly going to be a Nintendo Switch online exclusive purchase, so I think you're going to have to do it through the store on the console, which is weird. It's going to be $59.99 for a pair of them, and they will still connect to the controller like normal Joy-Con if you want to use them that way.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
What's so special about them?
They look like NES controllers.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that.
Yeah, the NES controller Joy-Con. Hooray! They went into Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee video. That's releasing November 16th. They're also going to have a new console bundle that includes specially designed Joy-Con, the game, and the Pokeball accessory. They showed a video for Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. I can hear Chris's erection from here. You're going to be able to summon enemies with Amiibo.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty neat. And that is releasing November 2nd, so it's right around the corner. They showed a video on Super Mario Party that's releasing October 5th. They showed off a new game, a new RPG from Game Freak called Town. That's releasing 2019. City Skylines Nintendo Switch Edition was announced. That includes the Dark and the After Dark and the Snowfall DLC, and that is out today.
Nice.
I love when they do stuff like that. Daemon X Machina video, that's coming out 2019. Yoshi's Crafted World, a new Yoshi game, announced for spring 2019. Asmodee Digital is bringing some tabletop games to the Switch, including Carcassonne in December, Lord of the Rings Living Card Game in April, Pandemic in March, and then they also announced Catan Universe and Munchkin, both getting Switch versions and releases. Sid Meier's Civilization 6 is coming to the Switch November 16th. Starlink Battle for Atlantis, they showed off some of the Star Fox content in there that is Switch exclusive, and that is releasing October 16th. New video for The World Ends With You Final Remix. They announced it's going to have a new story sequence. That's coming out October 12th, followed by a video for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, The Golden Country, which is basically a standalone expansion for it that they're even selling separately in stores. Okay. That's coming out on the 21st, so that's right around the corner. I already have mine pre-ordered. Shocking, I know.
Yeah, not even, like, you could say you had a potato pre-ordered, and I'd be like, yeah, I believe that.
Thanks for your support. And then it was a bunch of quick fire games that are coming out, like Warframe, Just Dance, FIFA, Team Sonic Racing, NBA 2K19, NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, Lego DC Supervillains, and then they got to some of the big stuff. Final Fantasy is coming to the Switch, and we also found out later it's coming to Xbox as well. Have you heard this stuff?
No.
Well, this one is so far only on Switch and PS4, but they showed a video for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered.
Yeah, and I'm mad.
Yeah, me too.
I knew about Crystal Chronicles because I spent a lot of late nights when number 1 was born. Of course, babies are up all fucking night long. So I spent a lot of late nights up with the baby playing through Crystal Chronicles. I have an attachment to it, and I have been on a Crystal Chronicles kick. Whenever anybody mentions Final Fantasy, I'm like, this is the only one I've played. It's the only one I care about. Everything else can fuck off.
Yeah. Well, that's only coming to Switch and PS4.
Yeah. So it's basically like they put up a Crystal Chronicles trailer, and I just watched the whole thing. You know, losing my shit, and then the card flips up at the end of the trailer, and it says PS4 and Switch, and it basically could have just put "fuck you, Eternal" at the bottom, because that's how I felt.
I'm more surprised it's coming to PS4 in addition to Switch. I kind of figured that was a Nintendo thing.
And that's why it's weird that it's not coming to Xbox. Like, I feel like we'll probably get it in a year or two.
Maybe. I was hoping for Xbox release with Switch crossplay.
Right.
That would have been amazing.
Just give, please. I don't understand. I've bitched, I know, 1,000,000 times. You can roll your eyes at me, I'm sure. Exclusivity is bad for consumers.
Technically, this one's not exclusive.
I know, but it's exclusive because it's excluding us. It's excluding Xbox. And it's just weird. Like, why?
Hey, it's okay. They announced a whole bunch of Final Fantasy games, and I was shocked to find out a bunch of them are coming to Xbox.
Yeah, but they're not Crystal Chronicles.
Well, I can't do anything about that.
All the flavors under the rainbow, and I'm choosing to be salty.
Yes, I can tell. They showed a video for Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, which is out today on the Switch, also previously released on Xbox and PS4, so we already have that one. Showed a video for World of Final Fantasy Maxima, which is releasing November 6th, so it's announced and it's coming out really quick. Also confirmed for PS4 and Xbox One, so we're getting one of them. Chocobo Mystery Dungeon Everybody is coming out this winter, also confirmed for PS4. And then Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age, is releasing in 2019 on the Switch and the Xbox One.
But not the PS4. See,
it's already out on PS4.
Oh, it's already on. See, I just don't get it.
We're getting it. We're getting it.
I know it,
psyched.
But I don't get like how they choose which ones you're gonna put on Xbox and which ones you won't. It's so weird.
You're just not gonna get over Crystal Chronicles, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm really not. It hurts. See, look. I'm a ginger. I don't have a soul, but I went and stole a soul so that I could be hurt by not getting Crystal Chronicles.
Well, they also announced Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy X, and Final Fantasy X-2 are all coming to the Switch in 2019 as well.
Okay.
And Xbox One.
Nice. I know that a lot of people have been looking forward to those and hoping they'd come to Xbox, so.
I am most excited about 7 and 12.
I think 7 is the one that I'm most familiar with, everybody losing their shit over.
I know a lot of people are excited about 10, and I have always hated 10, and I know I'm in the minority. I know people love Final Fantasy X. I have always hated the game. I think it's a terrible Final Fantasy. I think it's too linear. I think the characters are irritating. The voice acting is awful. The laughing scene alone just guts me every time I see it. I think it's a bad game, and the only thing I liked about it was Blitzball, which is a little mini game that they have in it. The rest of it I think is garb. And I'm still gonna buy it to support JRPGs on Xbox One. Because
maybe they'll start bringing more of them.
They'll bring us Crystal Chronicles to shut you the fuck up.
This is gonna be a problem for a long while. I just want you to go ahead and be prepared with that knowledge.
Yeah, until 2019 when it releases, and then you'll cry. You just need to pick up a Switch.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like you can just. I can go to Walmart and pick one up, but I can't leave the store with it. That's the problem.
Save your shekels. And maybe you'll be able to pick one up. Maybe Santa will bring you one.
I'm Santa!
What? You're ruining it for me. If you are looking for a console, they announced another new console bundle is going to be releasing. This one for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which includes themed Joy-Con, a themed dock, a game download, and that's releasing November 2nd. So I'm guessing that you're not going to be able to redeem the game until it's actually out.
Probably not.
That's my guess. And then because it's Smash Brothers, they had to announce a new character, and that's Isabelle from Animal Crossing is coming to Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Wow.
Yeah. Not only that.
Like at this point, it's like they're just putting names of characters from every franchise ever to see the light of day on Nintendo, and then just shaking it up in a big old like mason jar, and then sticking their hand in there and going, "Yep, that'll do," and that's the one they pick for the week or whatever. I'm
more surprised that it's not Tom Nook.
I don't know who that is.
He's the shopkeeper in Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay. I never played Animal Crossing, actually.
What?
I know, but I didn't.
You had a GameCube, right? That's how you played Crystal Chronicles.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Get
but
it for GameCube.
I don't have one anymore.
Well, whose fucking fault is that?
David's, because he sold it to pay for an Xbox.
Well, then find a cheap Wii. You could find Wiis for like $40 now.
That is true. I've always said that I needed to get a Wii too. The thing is that if I get another console that's not Xbox, then I have to buy games for it. And it's kind of hard to shell out money for games when I already have 700 on my Xbox. You say that like you ain't got 24,000 games.
Hey, it's only 2,000 and what was it? 59, I think I'm at.
Okay. See?
No, 2060 because I just redeemed one before we went on this show.
And you have all the consoles.
I do. I have a problem.
You have even more games. I'm pretty sure you're the equivalent of a hoarder, but like digitally.
If people have watched the stream, they could see behind me and know that I am in fact a hoarder.
That is, I was trying not to throw you under the bus completely. But you do have a lot of game stuff. I
do. I have a shitload of game stuff. I
want the companion cube. I've also never played Portal. But I recognize the companion cube. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, I don't think you understand how much of my pop culture and nerdy knowledge just comes from, like, reading the Wikipedia page because everybody mentions it so much.
Well, Portal, the Orange Box, and Portal 2 are all backward compatible, so that's entirely on you.
Are they backward compatible? They are, aren't they? Yeah. I really need to pick those, because it's not that I don't want to, and it's not like it isn't exactly the fucking kind of game that I love to play. If anybody's ever heard me on this show. So
yeah, what's your problem?
I don't know. I just don't think about it. If it was, I can't even be like, oh, if it was super cheap on sale, because I'm pretty sure I've seen it at GameStop. Stop shaking your head menacingly at me. But like, I'm pretty sure I've seen it at GameStop for stupid cheap, and I don't know if it was a case of David picked up something else and so I just didn't get it or what, but
I'm pretty sure digital has been stupid cheap before as well.
Probably.
Anyway, jumping back to the Nintendo Direct, the last bit of news, Animal Crossing is getting a new console release for the Switch in 2019. There's no other details, but there's going to be a new one. So now, if you get a Switch, you could play Animal Crossing and Crystal Chronicles.
Man, why don't they just put everything on Xbox?
Because Nintendo isn't going to release their games on Xbox.
I know that that's true, but that doesn't mean I like it.
Anyway, we were talking about backward compatible games. 2 games were added to the lineup this week. 2 interesting ones. The first is Rumble Roses XX, which, very interesting.
The fuck is that?
You don't know what Rumble Roses is?
No.
It is an all-woman wrestling game.
What?
Yeah, with jiggle physics.
Oh, good goddamn.
Yeah.
Carry on.
You should look that one up. And then the other one is Zone of the Enders HD Collection, which is pretty cool.
I feel like I've heard of this one before.
It's on 360.
Well, I mean, it's backward compatible, so thank you, Captain Obvious. I feel like I've heard of the game name, but I can't fathom why. Like, why it sounds so familiar. But it does.
When Zone of the Enders first came out, I think it included a demo for Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh.
Yeah, and it got pretty big that way.
That might be, because David used to be really big into Metal Gear games. So that's probably why it sounds familiar.
Anyway, last bit of news I have is that Ubisoft has announced the Season Pass content for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it will be including Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. So now with Far Cry and now Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft including remasters of their titles and Season Passes seems like a great way to encourage people to buy the Season Pass, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. 3 was a good game, too. Like, it's one of those that people were hit or miss on. Assassin's Creed 3 was, but I really liked it. So I wouldn't be mad at a remaster of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see it. I love that Ubisoft is doing this.
I wish more developers would do that. And rather than just like give us $60 for this remaster. Like, find a reason to convince me that I want to play your shit again.
Yeah. So including it in a season pass.
It does that, yeah. It's like, oh, by the way, since you gave us extra money, here's a little something extra for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea. I really do.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And then No Time just mentioned that they had some news to share as well, and that's that the Forza Horizon 4 demo is out, and I don't know how I didn't think to mention that. Probably because I already completed the demo.
I haven't even installed it yet. Can you play it with a friend?
I don't think so. I think it's just single. And it doesn't save your progress either. So that's why I made sure to do everything I could in just my first play.
How long did it last you?
Couple hours.
Really?
Like 2 hours, something like that. Well, that's because I didn't just do the activities. Like, I was exploring the whole thing.
Was there a limit to how much of the map you could see?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 20-25% of the map. If you try going off in a direction that you're... what is it? The 28th?
Of October?
Yeah. Or no, September. September 28th.
Oh, that soon?
Yeah, September 28th, Forza Horizon 4 Ultimate Edition, and then a couple days later for the standard.
For some reason, I didn't realize it was so soon. Yeah, I'm going to lose a lot of time to that. I don't even need to play a demo. I can wait. I'll just play the game.
I needed to play the demo. I needed it.
Really?
Yes.
I still have not played the Hot Wheels DLC for Forza Horizon 3. And here's the terrible part. I bought it for myself and Studa so we could play it together, and we still ain't played it. It's just sitting there in our backlogs.
What?
Studa has like 8 games in there, and he's got a backlog.
How have you never played the Hot Wheels DLC? Oh my god.
Yeah. Like I played we played the Blizzard Mountain. We played the shit out of it, and we did all the driving on all the roads and all of the game types, but we just have not gone back for All
right, listen. you are playing the Hot Wheels DLC by next week's show. It's happening.
A requirement? Yeah.
Yes. You need to play it. You need to fire it up. You need to play it. That might be my favorite DLC ever released for any game.
You want to yell at Studa and tell them to go install that?
You too, Studa, the both of you. Fire that shit up. Play Forza Horizon 3's Hot Wheel DLC. It needs to happen. It is so goddamn... The first time that you hit a loop-de-loop on fucking Hot Wheels track, it is amazing. Or some of the jumps in there. Oh my god. How have you... breaking my balls.
That's gonna have to find its way in between hoarding PUBG achievements. That's what we've been working on.
Breaking my fucking balls, Cole.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
You want to know? I actually have news too.
Let's hear it. What do you have news about?
This happened while you were gone to Mag Labs. Happy Dungeons is shutting down.
Oh yeah, I saw that today.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
On the plus side, it's not shutting down. I think it's June of 2019.
Yeah, it's still a while away.
Yeah, and they're doing triple XP until it's just going to stay triple XP until it shuts down.
Oh, that's good.
So if you're missing achievements, I think there's one for getting to level 50. You're gonna have plenty of time to clear them up. They didn't pull a culling 2 on us. So you have a shot at getting your achievements and completing the game before it goes away. So that's your warning. I gotta play that more.
That was a fun game. I gotta play that more.
I played a lot of Happy Wars on the 360, but when I got the first thing I realized is that there's a whole lot of free games. And that's even like without counting reviews and stuff that I have to play. It's just, I haven't even got to try a quarter of the games that are just free, just sitting there for something,
Yeah.
And it's like, it's too many games. And then you get on Twitter and everybody says Xbox don't have games. And I'm like, what? There's too many games.
We just went over that I have 2,000 games installed. So to say Xbox doesn't have games is unequivocally false.
Yeah.
I am proof that Xbox has games. It has a shitload of games. And there's a shitload that I don't have.
The funny thing is that my oldest, when she started high school, they had everybody stand up and tell 2 truths and a lie. And one of the truths that she told was, like, at the time it was like 650 or something games. She's like, I have 650 games on my Xbox. Everybody's like, yeah, that's a lie. She actually keeps a screenshot of our ready to install on her phone because people don't believe her.
Yeah, that is your ready to install though. I'm talking installed.
I know, but I don't have but I was about to say, I don't have the external hard drive for that. And it reminded me, Seagate announced a 14 terabyte hard drive this week.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you have 2,000 games to install and you need some more space, here you go.
Nice.
It's only $510 for the cheapest one.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's on my Christmas list.
There you go. But the funny thing, too, like, if you think about it, $510, you go, I could buy a whole new computer for $510. But 14 terabytes of space on your console, when games have got to the point where, a Halo Master Chief Collection is 100 gigabyte, man. And
see, you could say 14 terabyte isn't much. 14 terabyte is a fucking shitload of space.
It is.
Because I have 2 8s and a 4. And, subtract the usable space and whatever else. I'm probably sitting around, 16 to 18 terabyte of space. I'm only at 70%. So 14 is a lot.
And I'm willing to bet that 2 8s and a 4 cost you more than $510. Unless you caught a really good sale.
I think it was cheaper.
Really?
Yeah. I think I got the 8 terabytes, I want to say like $150 on sale.
Are they, what speed are they though? Are they like the 5400
or
the 72? Yeah.
I'm sure they're the 54.
If you get the 7200 RPM ones, that's the equivalent of having an Xbox One X hard drive.
Ooh.
Speed-wise. So you load quicker if you've got an S or a fatty McFat Xbox like I do. Then you can get a faster hard drive and hook it up to it, and your shit loads faster, and you get to pretend like you have an X.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the couple extra seconds.
That's the terrible part. There are times, because this is how Studio has his setup, so he's got the X now, but he still has the faster externals on it. That motherfucker will spawn into a game a good 2 minutes, 3 minutes before I will. The Division is insane. Oh, that's another thing. Oh, boy, I about dropped a controller.
Why are you holding a controller during the show?
I wasn't. I moved my hand on the desk and about knocked it off. The Division has free play days this week on Xbox as well.
Mm.
So,
So by the time this comes out on Saturday, you have a day.
It won't mean a whole lot to you, but, go! Of course, if you've got Game Pass, doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
But if you don't, have fun. Doc Havoc is Ian, right?
Yes.
Ian's making fun of how I say la. I don't really remember saying la, but apparently
2 truths and a lie.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
2 truths and a lie.
Want to go ahead and say "oh" so he can giggle over that for the rest of the show too?
Just get them all out of the way.
Far. Oh. Louisville.
Ass.
Oh, my jaw pops when I say that.
Nice. Quick shout out to No Time for Games for dropping 200 biddies.
Yay.
Always good. Always appreciate you.
White truck. Yeah. Studa never lets me live that one down. Or bright white light.
Is Studa just going to feed you lines to say?
Probably. Yeah.
Anyway, reviews. We should probably get to reviews, shouldn't we?
We should.
Because we got a lot to talk about. We do.
We have opinions on things, and those things are probably games.
Potentially. I don't want to promise anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're games.
Okay. Yay!
First game to talk about tonight is called NASCAR Heat 3, developed by Monster Games, published by 704 Games, released September 7th on Xbox One, PS4, and Steam for $49.99. There are more ways to race than ever before in NASCAR Heat 3. Jump into the enhanced career mode, build your own race team, and compete in the Extreme Dirt Tour. Prove that you're the best in the world in the new online tournaments feature. Plus, all your favorite modes are back and better than ever. Obviously, NASCAR Heat 3 is the newest addition in the NASCAR Heat series, and along with the new release comes some new features. That first one being the Extreme Dirt Tour. This is the first time that they have dirt tracks in the game, which definitely changes things up quite a bit, especially in handling. I might as well start with the career mode. Mm-hmm. Start your career mode, and you're going to start off riding hot seat for the dirt track, which is basically if someone has a week where they can't race, they might offer it to you to step in and race. So you'll just randomly get either offers to race a track or not race a track. It's kind of to just ease you into the game and how to do things. Races come down to you can do a practice run, so you could just cruise around the track and get the feel for it. They have a qualifying race that gets your position, the pole position that you're aiming for, find out where you start in the race. And then, of course, the actual race itself. You can set it anywhere from like 4% of the full race to 100% of the full race, which, of course, I have a tradition of doing at least one full length race. Which
why do you hate yourself, though?
I don't hate myself. See, I legitimately...
Those are long-ass races.
They are. Although, to be fair, the dirt track races this year, you can do something for like 100 laps instead of something crazy like 500. So it was significantly quicker to get that achievement this year of winning a full-length race. So props to them for including the dirt track. But yeah, the career mode, after that first year, you get to pick your own team, or you can create your own team if you want, so you can micromanage, who you hire, who you train, what you're upgrading, stuff like that. So it can get really, really in-depth if you want it to be really, really in-depth. Or if you'd rather just focus on racing, you could just join someone else's team and just focus on racing and not have to worry about all the micromanaging stuff. I think that's really cool, is they don't force that stuff on you.
Yeah. The micromanaging in racing games is where I shut down.
Yeah. I'd rather just focus on driving in circles.
I just want to make left turns.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? Anyway, there are a lot of left turns that you can make in the game, a lot of tracks in the game. Having the dirt track or the dirt tour on there. They also have the NASCAR Truck Series. They have the Xfinity Series. They have the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Like, there is a lot of series and championships that you can race in this game. And by the way, when the hell did Monster Energy get involved with NASCAR?
I thought they had been, well, they were car sponsors for a long ass time.
I knew they were car sponsors. I didn't know that they sponsored the NASCAR Cup though.
No, I didn't know that. I'm not particularly surprised. I mean, can you imagine how many energy drinks it takes to make 500 left turns?
Well, if it's not just 500 left turns, because there's, 4 turns
so, yeah,
in a lap.
That's 2,000 left turns.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Monster Energy drinks. Because otherwise you're going to be like, well, turning the wheel to the left and taking a nap.
Then again, I figure when you're driving 200 miles an hour, you're kind of focused on not dying.
No, ain't you ever seen none of them wrecks, though? I don't think they're too focused. NASCAR has some hardcore wrecks, and that's basically the only reason anybody watches that shit. It's just to see somebody be not focused.
I want to see someone on fire.
Yeah. No, it's on fire. Get it right.
On fire. On fur.
If they ain't on fire, you're wasting your time. Sorry.
Anyway, there's a shitload to do in this game. They also have quick race, split screen, championships, career. They have challenges that you could do that put you in the seat of different events in NASCAR history that you got to go through. There's a lot to do in this game. Handling feels just as comfortable as it did last year. Dirt tracks are going to spin out more frequently, especially if you're stuck on a rainy dirt track with mud. Some of the tracks, they have more than just ovals and circles where they have full on, left and right turns that you got to make. Believe it or not. It's crazy. They do all this weird shit in the game, but there's just a lot there. Visually, it looks on par, if not better than last year. I will say, after playing the Forza Horizon 4 demo and going back to it, it looks noticeably choppier and not as good. But, Forza is notably one of the best looking games on the console. So that's tough to stack up to.
I was going to say, that's a pretty high bar to jump for, but
So I can't fault the game for how it looks. It looks good enough. It plays well enough. Sounds good enough. Soundtrack is pretty good. A mix of rock and like pop country rock, whatever it is. The one big thing I love about this year's game is in the past years, I've complained that you can't mute the spotter who's like, someone on your left, someone on your right, clear around you. You can mute them this year. You can shut them the fuck up.
They listen to you, Joe.
I am so happy. I was able to mute the spotter and just focus on driving. I still wish they had music playing during the races, but I'll take baby steps. I don't have to listen to a goddamn spotter shouting directions at me all the time, especially when I'm just focused on like ramming into people and getting them the fuck out of my way. Overall, though, it's a really, really solid entry in the NASCAR Heat series. Really good stuff. $50. If you're looking for a racing game to keep you occupied until Forza releases, I could definitely see this keeping me occupied until the end of the month.
Nice.
So good stuff. Next game to talk about is called Arcade Islands Volume 1, developed by Teyon, published by Mastiff, released September 4th on Xbox One and PS4 for $19.99. Collect treasures, you master 33 games on 6 exotic islands in your quest to be crowned ruler of the islands. Cole, tell us about this one.
So this is a compilation game with, I want to say there's around 30-ish games altogether that 33. You can unlock. 33.
I literally just said that.
Did you? I didn't even, I don't know how I missed it. I was probably just looking at my notes and kind of waiting for my cue.
It's like this fucker's talking again.
Yeah, I've kind of learned to tune you out at this point. I'm just waiting for audio cues.
Understandable.
But yeah, there's 33 different mini games that you can unlock. It's not all of them are available single player. So some of them you will need to have co-op partners nearby.
Oh no, they're all single player.
But there was one that wouldn't start because I didn't have a teammate. And I don't remember which one it was now.
Because I got the achievement. Oh, I'm pretty sure I played the computer on that one because I got the achievement for playing all the games and getting a star on each one.
I couldn't get the air hockey one to pop or to go. I don't know. I probably broke it or did something wrong. I played this shit at like 5 a.m. one day, and then I played it later with my kids, and that is when it shined. And I had so much fun playing this with my kids, because there's so many different game types and ways to play them. There was just always something different to pop over to. Like, if one kid got pissed off because she wasn't very good at the totem towers that you knocked down, she's getting bonked in the head. That one wasn't particularly 5-year-old friendly. Then it's like, it's no big deal. We'll just switch over to where you are punching bears with Vikings, and you just have to push up, left, or right. So it was really easy to find something that everybody could play and enjoy across all the age groups. And my kids are spread the fuck out age-wise. So finding games that everybody can enjoy and sit down and have fun with and be able to play on a reasonable level is kind of difficult for us. Not here. There was literally just something for everybody. There are stars awarded for the scores that you earn on each of the different games. You unlock additional islands as you get more and more stars, so you get more games to play as you unlock the different islands. The stars are pretty easy to come by. I don't think there were anywhere number 3, who's only 5, even she was able to get 1 star on almost every game. It wasn't something that she struggled with, but it was something, number 1, who's, a big time gamer and a little, a little obsessive in gaming. I don't know where she gets that from, but she wasn't bored playing them either.
Yeah, there's a lot to do in the game. It keeps it varied really well. Yeah,
and we just had so much fun. Unfortunately, there's no online play, but there are leaderboards. And so you can, get a better score than your friends and then send them a text message and tell them to shove it.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, and then they can, come and try to beat your score or not.
Bum, bum, bum.
But it's simple. It's easy to play. Not all of the games control as well as you'd like. Some of them are a little on the stiff or kind of difficult to maneuver side. There's a Zuma type game, for example, the spinner where you shoot the balls at the moving string of balls and try to make matches. That didn't always want to be as smooth as it could have been. But when you consider that it's 1 out of 33, kudos to them for making that many different games and having them play at all.
Yeah.
I wasn't even mad at it. I did get stressed that I was so close to the 3 stars on that one. And then number 3 is standing beside me going, she's like, I don't know, Mom, it's going pretty fast. You're going to lose. And I'm like, and then
Listen
I
here,
lost.
you little shit.
And then I was like, well, time for you to go to bed.
I will say I did struggle on one of the games, and that was the tank game. I am awful at tank games, and I don't know why. So I struggled with that one, just trying to get 1 star on it.
I don't think I played the tank game. I think the girls played that one. I'm trying to remember.
You're slacking.
I know, I don't remember it specifically, so I feel like that's one that they played. And that was the cool thing, though, was that, if I had something to go do, I was like, here's the controller, play a couple of the games, and let me know if you liked them.
Have fun.
And you're like, this one's great. And I'm like, okay, well, I wash dishes. Next.
Nice.
But I like that it was family friendly. It was something that everybody could manage. And that's basically what stands out to me the most about it. It was, for 33 games, and most of them were at least enjoyable. I didn't play any that I were like, this is awful. Why is this a thing? Everybody seemed fairly happy with a whole lot of them. And that's a pretty impressive, score for a compilation.
Of that size.
Where you're not just like, there's not games where you're going, why is this in here? This ruins everything. That didn't happen.
Well, for $20, what do you think of it?
I give it a buy it. I had a lot of fun with it. The kids had a lot of fun with it. I can see a lot of weekends being lost just sitting around, especially this winter as it starts to get cold and kids can't go outside and play. It's like, you know what? Here's the controllers. Go beat the shit out of your sister with some air hockey.
I agree. A lot of good games, a lot of good variety. It's definitely something that'll keep you occupied for a good while. A lot of achievements to earn in the game.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about it too is that it's easy to pick up and play and then just stop. You don't feel like you've lost any progress or anything. If you lose, it's like, okay, well, next.
It's like a mini arcade.
And you just keep moving along till you find what you want to sit and slam out for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Air hockey. Air hockey is what you're going to want to sit and play.
Anyway, next game to talk about is called The Talos Principle, developed by Croteam, published by Devolver Digital, released August 31st on Xbox One for $49.99. Assume the role of a sentient artificial intelligence placed within a simulation of humanity's greatest ruins and linked together through an arcane cathedral. Players are tasked with solving a series of increasingly complex puzzles woven into a metaphysical parable about intelligence and meaning in an inevitably doomed world. There's a lot of big words in that.
Yes.
It sounds fancy.
Yeah.
But
it sounds complicated.
It does. So thankfully DarkMika covered this one. She wrote in her review. Let's see what she's got to say. Shall we?
Go for it.
She says, the Talos Principle is a super puzzle game. It has 2 types of puzzles. The first are puzzle rooms that require you to move around an environment to get a Tetris block. Second puzzle types are Tetris boxes. For those who don't know what that is, you're handed Tetris blocks and you have to fit them around to fill up a box without fully overlapping. Fill a box fully without overlapping the pieces. It sounds easy, and it is at first. Eventually you get pieces that aren't typical Tetris blocks and it becomes much harder. You play as a robot created by the shiny-assed god Elohim. Shiny-assed god. Good lord. He's, well, exactly what I'd expect of a monotheistic god. Wow, look at her busting out the big words.
Somebody got her a thesaurus, didn't she?
He talks to you since, after all, he did just create you and demands you to do his bidding to prove yourself worthy enough to be his bitch, basically. That involves getting to his temple by solving these Tetris box puzzles and not getting killed by turrets or floating, moving mines or falling to your death in the environmental ones. He wants you to get to his temple for reasons which he, because he's God, doesn't need or have the time to bother telling you. In most places, there are more puzzles you can solve to get extra Tetris blocks than are needed to solve the current Tetris box, which you have to solve to move to the next area. Now get this, he's fucking condescending. If you go above and beyond and collect the extra ones, he's like, oh, it's nice you got that, but it wasn't needed to reach my temple. Like, I know that, God, dude, but but it'll be needed eventually because it's a puzzle, and that's kind of how they work, you condescending jackass. That all being said, his voice is godly and majestic. Kind of reminds me of the Mondada. He's the robot Dalai Lama from Overwatch. I don't play Overwatch much. Game is mostly just that, though. Get to his temple. There are a lot, and by that I mean a metric fuck ton of these puzzles to solve. There's 3 full worlds that you have to explore to solve everything to get to the end. Each world is harder and harder. There's a ton of puzzles in general and lots of extra ones that are stupidly hard that you can do, which provides more story and background to where the fuck you are, because it sure as shit ain't Kansas anymore, Toto. Oh, burping. Voice acting is amazing. I love it. The graphics are a bit mixed for me. Overall, it looks great, but some individual things in it don't look great up close, but that's nitpicking, I guess. However, graphics as amazing as they are, for some reason, the game is very taxing on my eyes. It was like that on the PC, and it's like that on the Xbox One. I don't know why that is. I mean, I could play 5 to 8 hours of games daily, easily, and sometimes even more. I'm generally okay. But after 30 to 60 minutes of this game, my eyes are screaming at me for hours, and it doesn't make any sense. So don't try to play large amounts of this in one go. If your eyes don't scream at you, your brain probably will. For $50, I'm kind of conflicted. It's been on Steam for nearly 4 years now, however, it's rarely on sale. Now, this $50 will give you both the main game, but it also includes the Road to Gehenna DLC, which is a post-game story. On Steam, this altogether costs $55, so it's cheaper on the Xbox One. And honestly, this game will keep you busy for easy 20 to 30 hours with just the main story, and that's if you're really good. Voice acting work, music are both fantastic. Honestly, I got Steam specifically to find and buy this game. It took me forever to find it, but still, the age doesn't show too much, but it's not super great, but it's leagues far, what the hell? The age doesn't show too much. It's not super great, but it's leagues far the fuck above bad, but it's still 4 years old. I'd have liked the price to be cut a bit more than $5, honestly, though it's worth the full $60 AAA price tag otherwise. So if you're into puzzles and want to keep your brain engaged, get it. Or if you want to keep your brain engaged and bash your head into a wall, get it. Either way, if you hate puzzles, you really won't like this because it gets fucking hard. So it sounds like it is worth it for $50.
It does sound that way.
Sounds like a pretty solid one. I got to give that a go soon.
Yeah, I've had a few people be like, "Oh, you didn't play it?" Nope, I did not review that one. So
I'm kind of shocked. I figured that would be right up your alley.
Right? I didn't get it though.
No, I didn't give it to you because DarkMika was begging for it.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, next game to talk about is called Time Carnage, developed and published by Wales Interactive, released September 12th on Xbox, Switch, and Steam for $12.99. Time Carnage is a frantic survival wave shooter with a weapon-charging reload system. Travel through time and wreak havoc through worlds swarming with dinosaurs, monsters, robots, and zombies. Unlock and upgrade your arsenal to survive the onslaught. Cole, tell us about Time Carnage.
Time Carnage is, let's just go ahead.
Before you do that, Vertically Impaired just subbed for us for the 6th month in a row.
6 months of bad choices. Good job.
Horrible decisions.
We're so proud of you.
Anyway, Time Carnage.
Let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room here. This is a port of a VR game.
Okay.
And it looks like it. That's not a bad thing. That's not to say that it's like bad graphics or anything. The worlds, most of them are pretty good. But like the jungle dinosaur worlds are the best, and I'll get to those in a second. You start each game as from a first person perspective in like this pod. There's not a whole lot of story here, but the basic premise is you're being sent through various points in time to determine if it's a suitable time to reintroduce human life and if humans could survive.
Interesting.
So these different points in time, each one of them is kind of plagued with a threat There are zombies and mutants. There are robots. There are monsters. And there are dinosaurs. So, because at one point it sends you back to like 85 million years BC.
Oh, nice.
And the other ones are like 3059 AD and, into the future and stuff. But you are locked from a first-person perspective in this little pod when you're jumped into a new time period. And you cannot leave that pod. You can walk around inside that pod to an extent, but you can't leave it. And there will just be waves of enemies, literally waves of enemies that will just come at you. And you just plow them down the best you can, make it as far as you can, and carry on.
So yeah, very much sounds like a VR wave shooter.
It looks like it still maintains the VR aspect of it, whereas the pod that you're in has 4 different little, I'm trying to think, not quite like a pillar, but a little post, if you will. So each one is representative of the weapons that you have equipped to take with you through time.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to collect your weapons, you press right bumper or left bumper for the right hand or the left hand.
All right. For
all of its appearances of still looking like a VR game, they did a really good job of porting that motion controller to a standard controller. Your left trigger, controls your anything in your left hand. Your right trigger controls anything in your right hand. Right bumper will swap out the guns that you have available to the right bumper. So if you run out of ammunition, you can just put it back on the pod, take your other weapon off, and it will recharge your ammo while you're using the other gun. So you're able to have 4 guns with you. They can be mix and match. You start off with only pistols, but as you play, you'll unlock more. And you can just swap them out as you need to. You can create your loadouts to play the way you want. The campaign is like the most bare bones way to play this game. And I'm gonna dare say it's even kind of boring because it's incredibly easy. I played on hard and I was still one-shotting T-Rexes.
You never play on hard.
I know. I played on hard and I was just like, why is this so easy? So that should tell you something about the difficulty of the campaign. Each chapter in the campaign is 5 waves long. If you die, you just go back to the beginning of the wave that you were on. You have a health bar and you have a shield. So basically, waves of enemies, they come at you, they attack the shield. They get the shield down and you don't eliminate them quick enough, then they can drain your health bar as well. And that's when you die. If you're not being attacked, your shield regenerates and you can just keep plugging along as long as you can keep that shield going. There's, in addition to the campaign, I think there was 4 chapters and each chapter had between 4 and I think 6. I think one of them had 6. 4 and 6 segments to them with 5 waves each one. In addition to that, we had the arcade mode and challenge modes. Challenge mode's basically what it sounds like. You're in the pod, you pick a time and a place, and you just shoot whatever comes at you. But there are different limitations, like you may only use certain types of guns, like a sniper rifle, or you may be limited to a pistol. You may be in a position where you have to get headshots only. Or you may have multiple enemy types coming at you, but you're only allowed to kill one of them, for example.
Oh man, that sounds rough.
Yeah, some of them get pretty tough. Arcade mode, again, just onslaught from all the different types of enemies coming at you. Rack up a score. You can take in whatever weapons you want that you have unlocked, and you also unlock perks. Most of the perks I unlocked came from playing campaign, so it's kind of ideal to slog through campaign, in order to get the perks before you go into arcade. But then you can just sit there and see how fucking high of a score you can get and just have fun blasting away zombies and dinosaurs and mutant monsters and occasionally robots with swords.
It sounds like good mindless fun.
It really was. Like, I know that, I'm like, oh, well, it looks like a VR port, and it does. But it was just so fun to just kind of sit there and just haphazardly shoot the shit out of everything. And I loved the dinosaur levels were my favorite. I loved the shooting the dinosaurs, as horrible as that sounds. But there was a really cool, you don't ever have to worry about enemies coming up from behind you. You only have to worry about, front, left, and right, where the waves will come from. So you can hear, though, specifically with the dinosaurs, you can hear the footsteps when they're really far away. And so you've cleared out everything and you just hear them giant thud, thud, thud.
Oh, God.
And it's just kind of vibrating in your head. And you can hear the roars and that fucking T-Rex is coming for you. And even though you're going to one-shot it with the sniper rifle, you're still really excited for that fucker to come around the corner. And I just enjoyed it so much.
Well, then $13 on it. What do you think?
This is a buy it, and I did not expect to give it that rating at all, but I really did enjoy it. I had so much fun.
Nice. I was eyeing that one up in the store, and I wasn't sure on it, and I figured I would wait to hear your review on it, and now you've convinced me. I'm going to pick it up after the show.
Do it.
I will.
You will not be mad at me when you're sitting there peeing your pants because the T-Rex is stomping around the corner at you.
I'm always peeing my pants anyway.
Well, I hope you're good with a sniper rifle. Is all I know to tell you.
As long as you keep saying sniper rifle, I'm good. But next game to talk about is called Dimension Drive, developed by Two Awesome Studio, published by LBC Games, released September 4th on Xbox One for $12.99. This intense space shoot-'em-up challenges you to fight across two battlefields on one split screen, instantly switch between them to dodge waves of bullets, reach secret areas, or surprise your enemies. Play solo or turn it up to 11 with a local co-op partner. Still too easy? Step into the 13 zones of the Mirror Dimension in New Game Plus. Cole, what is Dimension Drive?
If anybody tells me this game is too easy, I'm going to tell them they're a fucking liar.
Yeah, they're a piece of shit if they say it's too easy.
This game was hard. So it is a vertical shmup. It scrolls vertically. It does have the neat little gimmick of being cooperative in that there are the screen is kind of split in half. And you can play co-op, but you can also play single player and control both ships. That's how I played most of the game, because when I tried to play with number one, things went sideways.
Oh boy!
So let's go ahead and approach the difficulty though first, because there's 4 difficulty levels for this game. 1, there's no easy. 2, the other levels are normal, hard, extreme, and what the fuck. That's all you need to know. If you die on what the fuck, that thing deletes your save. Good luck to you. Bye. It's hard.
Yeah, this is not an easy game at all. The whole dynamic of switching between sides, it's weird to get used to.
It is, but there's a really good payoff. If you play cooperatively, the 2 players, each ship has their own energy levels, and that's where your reserves for firing come from. So they obviously deplete when you're firing your weapon, and if you're playing solo, you can just flip back and forth between which one you're controlling, and the whichever ship is kind of, I keep referring to it as a ghost mode, but whichever one's in ghost mode will refill its energy bar automatically. That doesn't happen when you're playing co-op.
Oh.
So you have to pick up the energy orbs, or you're going to run out of energy and go poof. You can't do anything. which is why it was really hard to play with a teenager. Really hard. But if you're playing with, if you're playing solo as opposed to with somebody, you can just say, oh, well, I've exhausted my energy, and hit the button and flip over to the other screen and start playing with that. One thing that I thought was really creative is that when you're controlling one ship and the other is in ghost mode, it still moves about on its screen with you. But and this is why I keep referring to it as ghost mode, because it becomes a little pink fuzzy dot, and it's not affected by any of the obstacles in the level. So you can maneuver one ship around walls and obstacles and stuff like that and enemies without having to worry that the second ship is going to crash and burn into something while you're doing that. You have to be careful, though, and be mindful of where that dot is, even though you're watching your other screen, because if you go to switch and that dot is in an obstacle or in a wall, you're going to die. Mm-hmm. You have to be mindful of where it's at and what you're doing with it before you move back and forth. But that also leads to some pretty interesting hiding spots for collectibles. And you just keep wanting to play it over and over and go, look, I know I'm going to be able to get behind that wall and get that. If I just time it right, I can switch back and forth fast enough between the screens and be able to get it. It's tough, though. But I did it a few times in some really tough situations, and I was so proud of myself. It doesn't take much for me to be like, I'm the best. And so it was as hard as everything was, and as much as I struggled and as difficult as it was, I found myself being really proud when I did manage to accomplish something. But I was on normal.
Yeah, this is a brutal game.
It takes no prisoners. The story is very sci-fi heavy. It's pretty interesting. I was into it, but I probably couldn't repeat a whole lot about it because I spent most of my time just studying and trying to memorize the levels to go back and get the collectibles again. Yeah. And so then I was just like, wait, I forgot what they were talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's
Who's this person? What were they doing? But I think if you're playing shmups like this, most people are just playing to mindlessly shoot shit and not really worried about the complexities of the story happening in some text boxes.
Yeah, so $13 on this one. What do you think of it?
I give it a solid try. It is fun. It's just that know what you're going into, and if you're a beginner or something at shmups, especially the vertically scrolling ones, don't touch it. It's not for you. Don't start on hard mode.
if you are new to shmups, or as our friend would say, if you are vertically impaired, because he's in the chat room, get it? If you're new to shmups, I would avoid this one. If you are a fan of the tougher shmups and you enjoy learning patterns and just enjoying the difficulty of a shmup in its truest form with a unique gimmick to it that works really well, I think this is worth trying, but it might be a bit too hard to give it a buy it overall.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Next game to talk about is called Neonwall, developed by Norain Games, published by JanduSoft, released September 13th on Xbox One, PS4, and Steam for $9.99 with support for PSVR, Oculus Vive, and Windows Mixed Reality. Travel through a world of neon, overcoming obstacles and traps. This experience requires focus, concentration, and timing to let the ball rolling as fast as you can. Remember, in a world made of neons, you will need balls to survive. Cole, tell us about Neonwall.
I don't know. I'm kind of ruined after that pun.
Well, I didn't play this one, so you got to tell us about it.
Okay. Neonwall is, again, we're in VR world this week, I suppose. Is a VR game that has just kind of found its way onto Xbox. And again, they've done a really good job of porting, VR controls to an Xbox controller. The game begins with a dude playing in an arcade during a thunderstorm, and apparently this somehow leads to him getting zapped and being inside the game now.
Oh, that always happens.
You know, just a typical Saturday, I guess. It takes on a first-person point of view from here. I want to say that cutscene's kind of homely, and I feel bad for it. You're not playing this for the story either, though, so it's okay. But you take over a first-person mode, and everything suddenly looks so much prettier because it's basically just squares and a ball. The ball looks like it come out of Tron, for starters. And it rolls across the squares, and the goal is to get it from point A to point B and not fuck up any of the obstacles in the way. So the basic premise is that the squares have different colors: red, green, blue, yellow. And you want to match the ball's color. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say ball in this review.
A lot.
But you want to match the ball's color to the cubes. Doing so makes the ball move faster. If it doesn't match the color, it moves a little slower. Gradually, the game will start to layer puzzle aspects onto this mechanic, though. So, from your first-person perspective, you have two guns in your hand, and they got crosshairs, so when you're flailing around, and you will flail around, when you're flailing around with the guns, you can point at different cubes and things and interact with them in order to help progress the ball from A to B. It seems so simplistic when you start and you just describe it. It's like, oh, you just got to get the ball across through the puzzle. No. Because when the cubes matching their colors, it's just kind of the start. And from there, you have to start to build up where you have to be able to match the colors to build bridges across gaps, or to get wall cubes to disappear so that you can get through them. If you fuck up, then you got to start all over. There are checkpoints through some of the bigger levels, though. But the game kind of gives you grief if you have to restart a few times. Basically, it's kind of meant for speedrunning. I'm sure there's going to be some crazy motherfucker who can like roll through these levels in 10 seconds. But for me, it was generally taking about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. And I was pretty proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
Yay! There's around 30 levels here again. They have 3 different level types, which are the runners, which are basically just try to get through it as fast as you can. Time trials as well. And then they have the actual puzzle levels where, you know, like I said, you have to cycle through your colors with the guns to change the ball. For example, if your ball is green and there is a blue bridge, the ball will fall through. You have to switch to blue in order to get across the blue bridge. But there's a ton of different cube types that are gradually introduced to you. So you'll have some that you can drag. You have some that you have to actually shoot with your little gun with the proper color to get it out of your way. And you have to do all this in a timely manner because that ball is rolling. And it is rolling fast as shit, unless it's the wrong color, in which case, well, then you got a few seconds. There were instances where I found myself purposely turning the ball the wrong color so I could have a couple extra seconds. Because remember when I mentioned flailing?
Yeah.
Yeah. The controls, the aiming of the 2 guns is a little on the difficult side. You actually have 2 different crosshairs, one for each gun. And so, you know, left thumbstick controls one, right thumbstick controls the other. And it can take a little getting used to maneuver. Like in a lot of games where you have akimbos, they culminate into one crosshair and you just have to navigate that one. So there's a little bit of a learning curve with having going 2 different ways. But it's important because sometimes you're going to need to change the color of the ball, and sometimes you're going to have to be shooting a cube or dragging another cube at the same time. You're going to be busy. In order to change the colors of the guns, you have to click on the thumbstick for the appropriate gun that you're trying to change the color of. The problem with this is that it just cycles through the colors that are available randomly. So if you wait too long, you could sit there and be click, 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 and just hoping you get the right color that you need.
Yeah. And
it can be pretty hit or miss. I really wish they had put the colors on the face buttons. It just like, and again, then you would have had the whole struggle of how do you dictate which gun is changing? Because at least with clicking the thumbsticks, then you're clicking the gun that you want changed, because if you know you've got a color on one of the guns that's going to be coming up soon, you know you've got that one and it's good and you only have to worry about the other. But it feels like there could have just been some button configuration that would have been just a smidge easier to maneuver than just click, 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 hoping you eventually get the right one.
Yeah.
And that was really my biggest complaint with the game. Everything else seemed to control fine. I did kind of zoom around without any control for a little while, but I got it under control and I'm good now. I can shoot out the blocks with the best of them. But I just don't know what a better method for swapping the colors would have been than it just being random.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I enjoyed the game. I had fun. I thought it was really creative. The puzzles were well thought out, and they felt natural. Like, oh, okay, you could see what was coming up in advance through the camera following the ball. It hung far enough back that you could get a little bit of preview of what was coming, so you weren't ever really caught off guard. Your biggest struggle was just the RNG of the guns swapping colors.
Yeah, well, as it stands, $10 on it. What do you think?
I do give it a solid try. It's not going to be for everybody, but if you're looking for a challenge, and some of these levels get hard. If you're looking for a challenge, if you're looking for something a little different, if you like runners with some puzzles, you're probably going to be pretty happy.
Nice. Anyway, next game to talk about is called Lamplight City, developed by Grundislav Games, published by Application Systems Heidelberg, released September 13th on Steam for $14.99, a steampunk-ish detective adventure from the creator of A Golden Wake and Shardlight. Can private investigator Miles Fordham find justice for his clients and track down his partner's killer before his entire world comes apart? Ooh, that sounds ominous.
It does.
But DarkMika covered this one, wrote in her review. It's another long one, so deal with me stumbling over my words as I usually do.
Mika is cosplaying as me with these long-ass reviews, so I'm pretty proud of her.
They're getting long. I like when she sends in like half-page emails instead of full-page. She needs to do that trick that you do in like college essays where you double space everything and like 18-point font.
The best thing to do that I have found is go through and everywhere you've typed in the word very, delete it. That helps. Or replace it with damn, because, well, that works when you're doing like more professional writing. Because you can't be saying damn all the time if you're trying to be professional.
Yeah.
But in reviews, like on this show where we say fuck and balls on a regular basis, you can't really get away. Like, it doesn't matter if you say damn 700 times in a review. So your best bet on this is just to delete it instead.
Yeah. Anyway, this is what she's got to say. Lamplight City is a point-and-click game. You play as Detective Miles Fordham. You and your partner Bill are out late at night to deal with a simple flower store robbery. Why such a dog-shit job? Simple. The chief doesn't like Bill since he's openly gay, or you because you're a better cop than the chief. And you're friends with Bill, which makes you the scum of the earth by association, apparently. In other words, the chief is a massive twat waffle who wants to give you crap cases so you can't show him up since he wants a shiny new promotion that he's too stupid to handle. Anyways, while you're there, Bill dies. Meh, life sucks, get over it. Most people would.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, seriously. Most people would. You can't, though, because his ghostly voice decided to dry hump your brain. What the fuck? You're stuck with him night and day until you catch the ass clown that committed the robbery. Oh, yeah, and Bill, he doesn't shut up, like, ever, so you're kind of on drugs so you can get to sleep. Yeah, great time to be alive, isn't it? Well, you might as well solve some cases as you try to find the robber. And there you go, that's the game in a nutshell. Fucking fantastic opening, I'll readily admit. The game is a standard point and click. It doesn't do the whole inventory bullshit. You pick up and use what you need when you need to. Otherwise, you don't have an inventory. Thank fuck for that. Inventory stuff is one of the main reasons I usually don't like point and clicks. When you find items, you get access to new subjects to talk with people about. Sometimes this even opens up unique dialogue choice options, which can make the person tell you what you want to know or have you told to fuck off in the least polite way possible most of the time.
Wow.
I like the way it handles items you find. Opening dialogue makes it feel more like it was a Sherlock Holmes game. Not really sure why, since Holmes games are a lot harder, but it gave me that feel thanks to how the dialogue worked. I told you I'm going to stumble over shit. This has been a long show.
Can we get back to Twat Waffle, please?
The whole thing is completely voiced and well put together, I might add. The people aren't just spouting facts at you like most VAs do in these games. Feels more like the people were all in a room doing their lines together, having a real conversation. That rarely happens in these types of games. AAA companies rarely manage it, let alone indies. As such, I'm fairly proud of this group for giving that feeling. The lines themselves are filled with emotion. The only issue I found with this is sometimes the characters feel a bit one-dimensional because they really lean towards just a single emotion for the entirety of the conversations, which is a shame. Every area of the game is fairly small, but there's a bunch of them to visit. They're pretty fast to get through, though, and to, which makes life easier. There's also not an option wheel like you'd find in most point and clicks. You can't click on something and choose, look at, take, talk to, and use. Instead, you get one option with each item that the game automatically does. For instance, if someone can't talk, you have an option to look at them. If they're only useful to talk to, it just has a talk option. If you can take something, you just take it, etc. That makes the whole experience rather streamlined, and I can appreciate that. You find clues mostly by talking to people and occasionally finding items. At the end, you choose who you want to say did it. In the first case, I ended up with 3 options. I'm sure it's the same later on as well. It all depends on what evidence you've managed to find and how you dealt with people. For 15 on Steam, yeah, it's totally worth it. It's looking to be a 15 to 20 hour game depending on how thorough you are with it. Made me laugh a number of times in just the prologue in the first chapter. It does offhandedly deal with some touchy subjects like the poor, women, black people, and gays. All are viewed as lesser by society as a whole in the game. For instance, women aren't supposed to be in bars or coffee shops unless they're workers. They're not supposed to have education. Blacks only have jobs as dock hands in factories or servants, etc. So many, not so much for kids, but young teens I think would be fine to play this. Sounds interesting for sure. Yeah,
it does. I'd probably play it.
It's always weird when games have touchy subjects like that.
Yeah, but I tend to like those kind of games. Those are the ones that aren't afraid to push the boundaries a little.
True.
So I like to shake things up.
Anyway, we got one final game to talk about tonight. That is called Nefarious, developed by StarBlade, published by Digerati, released September 11th on PS4, 13th on Switch, 14th on Xbox One for $14.99. Tired of playing the hero? Nefarious is a 2D action platformer where you get to be the villain. Step into the wily shoes of Crow, an evil genius on an epic quest to steal princesses for his royalty-powered death ray, the world-conquering doom howitzer. Cole, what is Nefarious?
Well, you pretty much got it cut and dry right there.
Well, that's what a synopsis is supposed to do.
I know. I mean, you say, what is it? And I'm like, but you just said what it is.
Fine, then how is it?
It's a lot of fun, but it does feel like it's a novel idea that doesn't really reach its full potential, if that makes sense.
Do tell.
I really enjoyed the whole concept of, playing the reverse side of these action platformers. A lot of the times they're pretty cut and dry. You have your hero, you're going from left to right, you're going to run, platform your way through a stage, take out enemies, jump over some pits, and then you're going to fight a boss. What's it like on the other side for the enemies, though? But as much as this game touts it's a reversal, you do a lot of the same shit.
Yeah.
You play as Crow. You take out some enemies, you jump over some platforms, you get through the level, and then you fight a boss. Only this time you're the boss, and you're fighting the hero. It's the
same thing, just flip perspective.
Yeah, it feels like a little more could have gone into playing up the reverse aspect of it.
Like more evil things that you do instead of, the bad guys that I'm fighting now are normally just good guys.
Yeah, and there was, if you think about it, like, the villain is always on the right side of the screen, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So then why didn't they have the stages go right to left?
Oh, that would have been smart.
Yeah, and so instead of maybe just having hordes of good guy enemies, maybe have you choose where you're gonna put the bad guys to try to stop the bosses, or just little things that could have been done to make it less of the trope that it was trying to poke fun of, because it's like the characters and the commentary and the writing, it's funny, but some of it falls flat because it's like, yeah, but you just did that exact same thing.
Yeah.
You make fun of, don't fall in the pits, and then you have a whole level of don't fall in the pits. It's like, you made fun of it and then you did it. There are some really neat takes on this, though. You do have to kidnap 5 princesses as Crow to power his evil machine and carry out his nefarious plan. See what I did there? And, you have to kidnap the 5 princesses. There's a chase sequence after you kidnap each princess before you get to being the boss fight where you have to fight against the hero. Each one of these princesses has a special kind of ability, and in some cases princes instead of princess. But they each have their own ability. Like there's one who can turn your grenades, rather than just shooting a regular grenade and it blowing up whenever it hits something, the grenade leaves behind a trail of lava that hardens, and then you can use it as platforms. So you're creating your own platforms to get out of this tower, and it's incredible. And then you never use that ability again. It goes. You're like, okay. Or there's one princess who's like, okay, you can kidnap me, but we have to cause as much chaos and destruction as possible on our way out the door. And it's hilarious. So she gives you unlimited grenades.
Oh, God.
And you just go through just blowing the fuck up out of everything, and then you never do it again. There's a bumblebee princess, and she lets you jump higher and fall a little slower, and you never do it again. Like, after you accomplish those chase scenes where for just a brief period of time you have that princess's ability, even though that princess is on your ship, still within range of you, you lose that capability. It just never gets used again. Even as the game builds up and there's kind of a boss rush like ending where you go through and fight the heroes boss rush style.
Yeah.
You have the princesses locked in capsules to power your machine, and you have none of their abilities.
That's a bummer. It sounds like they should have brought back all of those abilities at the end to kind of give you one last taste of all that crazy power instead of just having short sequences of such novel ideas. Yep.
But rather, instead of letting you, rather than taking these ideas and building on the foundation that they give you with these chase sequences, which should theoretically serve as like a tutorial of here's your chance to use this and you'll use it further in the game, you just never see it again. But if that had come back instead at the end, it just would have added so much more rather than, okay, well, you're the big boss now. Here's a laser.
Yeah.
Good luck. And the only other thing that particularly really bugged me about the game, there is one boss sequence where the controls are just so janky. I played through the entire game, no problem, except for this one boss fight where you know how there's always the one big boss fight in these kind of action platformers where the boss is like punching down on you or throwing stuff down on you, and you've got to manage to shoot up at their head somehow. Mm-hmm. There's one of those sequences, but you are in the mech and controlling the punching. But it's just so, like, you can sit there and just kind of flail around.
Oh, shit.
My cat just broke something.
Nice.
I'll deal with that after.
Your cat is the bad guy.
I mean, he is named Gabriel, the Angel of Death, so it's a thing. But
anyway.
But, you know, no matter what you do, no matter how well you try to, like, control this mech, he just flails around, and you can be sitting there hitting directly on top of that hero, and it does not give a fuck. It will not register. And it's not consistent. It's the only time that I died during a boss battle in this game, and it took me 17 tries.
Holy shit. You are persistent.
Could not do it. And then I got through it by the luck somehow. I don't know what I did different. I'm pretty sure I just sat there and constantly hit with one of the fists because I couldn't get the other one to register. And then the rest of the game played fine. I'm like, I don't understand. What did I do wrong? There needs to be a little bit of polish in that particular sequence because that was a major pain in the ass. There are 2 endings to this game, but there's not, unless you're going specifically to see the second ending or to try to get an achievement for it. And I don't even know if there is an achievement for it. I played this obviously pre-release for review. The achievements were hidden. I completed the whole game and I didn't pop a single achievement. So I'm either really bad or they're bugs somehow. I don't know.
Or maybe it's like 20XX where they're all just ridiculously difficult.
It's possible, but it would be kind of weird because there's no difficulty levels in this game at all.
No, I just mean that the achievements are ridiculously difficult. Like get through a stage without being hit, or like beat the game without dying. Maybe it's stuff like that.
It could be. There are collectibles in each level, but I mean, unless you're going for that one specific to see the second ending, there's not really a lot there for replay. Like once you've gone through a level, you've kind of done it. Each level does give you a rating based on how many times you died and how many of the collectibles you got and how long it took you to do it. So it could be that there are achievements pertaining to getting an A or better. If you can even get better, I wouldn't know it, but maybe that's the case. But I didn't get shit, and I did beat the game. Twice. But
proud of you.
I did a thing. As frustrating as it is that there isn't any kind of new game plus or difficulty adjustments, like if you run through it and you go, well, that was easy, let's try it again, I want a challenge, you're not going to get that. Well, and that's kind of a bummer.
Well, as it stands for $15, it sounds like some good, some bad, kind of mixed. What do you think of it?
I give it a try. This one, I'm pretty neutral on it. It feels like kind of there's a few missed opportunities, but it's a really novel idea and it's amusing, and I did enjoy it.
It looks good. I like the art style.
Yeah, the art style was really cool. It's just that
just missed potential.
Yeah, and I think that was the biggest downside, other than that stupid boss that wouldn't work for me. But yeah, the missed potential was just kind of sad. That's
a bummer. I enjoyed what I played, but I agree. It felt too samey in a game that's trying to be so different.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna make fun of the save the princess trope, don't
do the trope.
Do the trope.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I give them an A for effort, I guess, because I did have fun. I just wanted something more.
Yeah. But what's there is still enjoyable, so.
True, yes.
Good stuff. But yeah, that is it for this episode. Those are all the reviews. Music, I think I'm just going to play more Viking Guitar Live because I loved their show at Mag Labs this past weekend, and I want to hear more of their music.
Did you have a good time at Mag Labs?
Oh my God, I had a blast. We were only there for a day. We went down on Saturday, stayed the night, left Sunday morning, but I had a blast. I ran into some friends. We had some nice dinner down there.
Good.
Saw some awesome music, played some games. I played DDR for the first time in like years.
How'd that go?
2 full combos.
What?
Yeah. Fat man can move on the dance floor, I guess. I was on beginner, so it was like the easy mode, but I'm knocking out A ranks with a full combo, and Ashley's getting like a C rank and missing a whole bunch of shit. So
yeah, but she's got a bum knee. She's in the bum knee club.
I got a bum knee. I got to bum everything. I'm falling apart in every possible way.
I'm going to say it's beginner's luck.
No, we both used to play DDR a couple of years ago. I'd love to get back into it. One of my friends was talking about loaning me a dance pad and showing me this one program on PC where you could just load up customs and everything else. He has a library of literally like 24,000 songs.
That sounds like somebody else we know.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near that with Rock Band. I'm not even a tenth of what he's got. His
you
lineup
would be if you could, though.
Yeah, if I could. If Rock Band 3 didn't have a limit of how many songs could be there, I would probably have that many customs. Because I would get every fucking song to have on there. But they have a song cap, so you can't.
Those monsters.
Sons of bitches. But yeah, I'm going to play more Viking Guitar Live because they had an awesome show.
Sounds good.
But that is it for this show. Thanks again to everyone for hanging out and chat with us and keeping us company, and for the biddies and for the subs and just the hanging out and the smart ass comments and everything like that. By the way, no time wanted to know if Neonwall, if blue balls made you slower.
Only if you're not on blue cubes. So you know, if you're falling down a blue hole with your blue ball, then you're doing all right.
So, final words for the episode?
That was it. That was it. Fall down the blue hole with the blue ball. Yeah.